my standing down there?
Huh? What'd you say, Cal? To homecoming, yeah.
He was dating an 8th grader.
What?
I know, going anywhere he goes.
Oh, yeah.
Send the running back.
What happened? What happened?
I don't get when that happens.
Okay, either.
Every time he tries to talk to her, she's so nervous and doesn't want to talk to her.
Well, that's because she blows them up. Hot.
He talks anyway, he doesn't.
So cute about him and Holly going to homecoming. Replay on that touchdown.
Remember that? And like less than a minute, and like he scored a touchdown. Whoops, Cody scored.
Oh, nice kick. Over there. Who's smoking? No, he didn't.
Watch the ball. Get it! All right, Jimmy!
That wasn't good.
Throw that ball! Throw that ball!
Go, Dix, go.
Did you park in the back lot? Like in the teacher's parking? No, it was past there. You should have parked in there. No one ever
Who is smoking?
in math class, I didn't mean to like stare at him, but I was staring.
Come on, Kevin.
Because like after that, yeah, that's when like things can change.
Josh and Kristen.
What is he?
68.
He returns?
Punt returns, yeah.
Go outside, Chad. Go outside.
Come on. Don't punt it. Go outside, 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 outside. Right side! Look at who? Is the mascot Mike Marguerite? Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin. Yeah.
Around the ball.
Couple penalty flags thrown.
doing too good here. What were you saying? Go sell one to my mom. No, she doesn't have to go.
up for no. Singleton again. Stop before the goal line. Pedro on the return. Fights his way out to the 30, first and 10 Carmel. Indiana again, towards midfield. From behind, number 20, Hagler. The ball was over and down to Mr. Banks.
To the near side. This time they have twin set there. The handoff to the deep man Beckman. He's close. There will be a measurement. Got maybe an extra half yard on body lean, and that may have gotten him the first down.
And Mark Harmon really had a hold of him by the kneecaps and was squeezing and holding on, but he got the first down. Guys, we have a player for Carmel down. We hope he's all right.
So the attending staff will come out here. Carmel, you know, one thing I really like about Carmel and what they do here is they take a look over this injured player. The students here are very much involved in community service, Jim. They estimate that students here at this school have given over 51,000 hours of service to this area, to this county, not just school-related things, but outside of the school itself, over 51,000 hours. They believe in community service. They teach it. It's something that they really advocate, and the students have really picked it up, and they're involved.
That's something they can be very proud of, and I know there's a lot of schools in the Chicagoland area that try to promote that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a great thing to see. We are tied at 14. There's some of the fans who are here tonight.
Well, I won't. There's a guy. There's a brave guy right there. Huh? He's got the Cubs hat on. Love him. He's a real fan, huh? If you're a fan, you're a fan, right?
Oh, you're right about that.
You had to use that illustrator on that.
Yeah, you did a heck of a job with that. Heck of a job. The injured player, it looks like Tim Potempa, who is being helped off of the field. Tim is, he's a hard charger. He's a force-type player. He's a player that they like to use against other types of defenses other than an option, because he's a guy who likes to go get people, and he's a little slow. He's going to have some help coming off the field. Tim Potempa, who is a junior, 5'10", 211. Say, by the way, let's take a moment to remind you that if you'd like to not be tackled by those high insurance premiums, we have a number that we suggest you call. 1-800-INSURED. 1-800-INSURED. The independent insurance agency Insure One can save you up to 20%. The Insurance Superstore, give them a call. 1-800-INSURE. First and 10, 36-yard line for Niles Notre Dame. The pitch, and Beckman cutting it back, gets a good gain. Look out, he's going for big yardage. And a big first down across midfield into Carmel territory at the 44-yard line. That was a 21-yard gain.
And that's what the Dons needed here. Things were changing. The momentum was shifting towards Carmel, and Beckman showed excellent speed there as he got north and south on that toss sweep. We'll see that play again. When you combine an option game with a power type game, it's a very good 1-2 punch.
Well, I'll tell you, Beckman looks like he's very good at running behind his blockers. He reads those blockers well, and he's got a little explosive speed.
Looked very quick, Bill.
Yeah. Wide out this time is John Craddock to the far side. Tight end is to the near side this time. Jennings, he ends up giving it to Seeplick, the fullback, and I'm not sure if Seeplick was really anticipating the ball to stay in there, but he got hit and had very little gain.
Occasionally you're going to have that happen. When you're a fullback, you have to understand in the option, you're going to get the ball sometime, and there's going to be people who are not blocked to make the play. At 65, Kevin Brandel just did a real nice job defensively for Carmel there in making that stop.
So a gain of about a yard, no more than that. It'll be second down. We'll just call it another second down and 10. We have wideouts, both left and right, a strong left formation once again. And the I backfield, Jennings, it's a pitch to, just a toss sweep play that was being set up there for Beckman, and the whistle sounded, so that play does not take place. Let's see what it is.
Seeplick was going to lead block on it, and I'm not surprised Coach Hennessy came back to that. It looked so good the previous play.
Well,
illegal procedure
against Niles Notre Dame. That'll go back 5 yards, and it'll be second down and a long 15 now. So let's see what they go to. That was a toss sweep. Student body left.
That's right.
Of course, it isn't quite that simple, is it?
No, but Southern Cal really made that sweep famous. Remember John McKay and that toss sweep?
You bet. And the Green Bay Packers used it in the pro ranks. The power sweep. Henrik is a wide out to the near side. There it is, the toss sweep again. Cutting back in is Beckman, who's been carrying a lot here in the third quarter. He got some of the yardage back. A gain of about 3, maybe 4 on the play. That'll set up a third and what would appear to be a passing down, but when you're in the option, you can do a lot of different things.
All that toss sweep out of the eye is a good football play. We've seen it run. Hook block by the outside man. He picks an inside lane. There's many running lanes there, and you can see 22 Seeplick was going to the outside to block. The Beckman picked an inside lane.
All right, we got a twin set to the far side. Henricks is out there with Craddock. So they've got 2 wide receivers. The tight end is lined up to the near side. Jennings looking that way. Looks, he's going to go deep down the field. He has a target. Craddock couldn't hang on.
Oh, that was a well-thrown ball. That's disappointing. They had a 3 men in that pattern. Going to have John Craddock had that ball. And it was a well-thrown ball by John Jennings. As he drops, you'll see him come over the middle on the post pattern from the outside. You'll see him break on the post. There he is. He's got a step on him. Turn back. You know, often we used to tell receivers, just turn around, catch it, and fall down. We'll take the yardage. You'll see 3 receivers in this pattern, possibly. They put it back out in the flat. 14's out in the flat. And another angle, a post move and a corner move, and that ball is there.
Right in the hands.
If you just catch it and fall down, don't worry about trying to get into the end zone. Right now, that could have been a costly play as far as dropping the ball, and even more costly as Joe Jennings is down.
So we'll keep an eye on Jennings here, and we'll take a moment to remind you also that if you are looking for an effective way to promote your company, call Cost Price Gas Sales, and they'll tell you how. Ask for the sales department, 312-988-9080. Promote your company. Call Cost Broadcast Sales and ask for the sales department. Well, Joe Jennings.
We didn't have a chance. I was more watching the patterns there on that last replay, but you know, sometimes quarterbacks, as they're shifting the weight on that pass, they're kind of in a vulnerable position, and whether it's a knee or ankle problem, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So they're getting the next man in, warming up on the sidelines. We'll see who it is.
Ryan Barrett, number 2. We saw him catching a pass. He's a good all-around player, backup quarterback. He also plays wide receiver, and he is a starter on defense at the corner. So Ryan Barrett looks like he is going to be put right into the fire here in a key ball game. Of course, we're looking at a 4th down situation here, so we will not see him immediately because it would appear to be a punting situation near midfield.
John Jennings can, if he doesn't re-enter the game, he certainly did a great job of leading his team.
Oh, he sure did.
Executing that option, throwing the ball well. Very headsy football play.
Stykes is one of the deep backs. Bessenhofer is in to punt the line of scrimmage. The Carmel 46. Bessenhofer kicks for the corner and floated up on him a little bit. And this one is going to bounce into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20. And that's where Carmel will put it in play. Hey, we've invited everybody to stick around because next week we will have one of these games coming your way. Nazareth at Chicago Christian, number 5 Bolingbrook at Romeoville, or another game that we are looking at right now. What we do is each Sunday night we sit down and look at the scores of the weekend and then determine what is the best game that we can bring your way. So attend a game on Friday night, then come on home, be with us for the second game of the doubleheader, and we'll have all the scores for you, all part of our Prep Weekly package. 1st down and 10. Dix gives it to the fullback, Hanna. He carries it down to about the 23 or 24-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines, and Dan Richmond is there. Dan?
Thanks, guys. With me now is the principal here at Carmel High School, Father Bob Carroll, and Father Carmel, Mount Carmel, Joliet Catholic. How come all these schools have such great athletic tradition?
Well, I went to Joliet Catholic High. I was the principal of Mount Carmel for a long time, and now I have the honor of being here at Carmel High School. And I think one of the things is that in Catholic schools and all quality schools, you find people put a tremendous amount of respect and energy out for the student in whatever aspect they're working with, academics, extracurriculars. And for some schools, like Joliet Catholic and Mount Carmel, they were all boys' schools in the beginning, so extracurriculars meant for them sports, and so there's tremendous energy in sports. We had a great team here last year, even though we had a losing record. But these schools offer value-oriented sports. The student athletes are out there for a growth in character and a revelation of character to show what they can do with the struggles that they put up with. We have some affectionate crowd behind me here.
Hey, Father, 316 kids at Carmel High School, 316 seniors last year, 315 graduated. Tell us about the importance of education.
Oh, no, not graduated. 315 went on to college.
College, excuse me.
Right. The 316 went into the Air Force so that she could earn enough money to go on to college.
Father, tell us about what Coach Mike Fitzgibbons means to Carmel High School. He is a great motivator.
Well, he's an incredible human being and one of our fine people, and we have just a whole slew of wonderful people here, and they're value-oriented people. So what they're doing with students is not trying to just teach X's and O's, but teach how to be a human being, how to grow right, how to develop as a person, how to show your character, and this is the type of thing that we strive for. And you don't do that by just running a good sport program. You do that by the other things that we have. Like we have a lock-in over the summer with the football players. We have a retreat for our student council people over the summer. We have all kind of wonderful things that we do that are so much extra for the students to show a lot of care. Like a couple of weeks ago, he had a cookout for the whole team at his house. Brought everybody over for a chili dinner, and I, of course, was there because it was a free dinner, so what the heck.
Father Bob Carroll, thanks a lot, and continue good luck to you and everyone here at Carmel High School.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for coming out tonight. You guys do great work.
Well, it's great to be here. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Father Carroll. We've enjoyed it. I have to give Father Carroll a little credit. You know, I'm a bachelor, and I never turned down a free meal, and I see he got one, too.
That's great.
Oh, that's terrific.
He had some great things to say, though, about character development through sports. And,
he did, and it's a wonderful school here, Carmel in Mundelein. A wonderful student body, and we want to thank everybody here who's been so nice to us and providing for us here this evening. It'll be a punting situation now. And Stykes, actually the backup punter, is in there, and he shanks it. It didn't carry well. It's against the wind. We'll see what type of punt he gets. Earlier in the game, I saw Dave Lawler went down. He has not been back in. I think it's an injury situation. We'll talk about it when we come back. We are through 3 quarters of play. That was the last play of the third quarter. Our score tied. Niles Notre Dame 14, Carmel and Mundelein 14.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
Hi, Chuck. How's business?
Okay.
Hey, what's on your screen?
QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
If you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions, and it tailors itself to your business. Create invoices like these. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, and inventory, and over 60 customizable reports that put you in control.
I'm going to try it.
Nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-318-4747.
When you think of Christian music, do you think of this? Take your music to the extreme. The Extreme Audio Series. You get not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 CDs of today's hottest music.
48 tunes, 4 CDs, and 9 different artists. That's 193 minutes of extreme audio.
So if you want this, can't help you. But if you want this, call now. Because if you don't...
This package not sold in stores. To order the Extreme Audio Series for $29.95, send your check or money order to P.O. Box 10319, Torrance, California, or call now 1-800-860-1025. Visa MasterCard accepted.
Call now, and we'll give you a Reflection Tides comic book. Free.
We are beginning the fourth quarter with the Dons having control of the ball. They got it after a 17-yard punt from the backup punter John Stykes. And Jennings is back in the lineup. They give it to Beckman on the toss sweep. He gets to the 35-yard line. Now, Notre Dame, we should point out, is going into the wind here in the fourth quarter. That's Carmel's advantage in the fourth, Jim.
But the field position is not to Carmel's advantage right now. Notre Dame is in 4-down territory. That 17-yard punt really put the Carmel in the hole, and that power sweep just netted about 6 yards.
Second down, 4 to go. Twin set to the far side now. They have a slot back in this formation, a wide slot. Handoff to the fullback going up the middle. I thought for a moment that ball might have popped loose, but Seeplick was able to hold on to it, got a couple.
A little inside trap there. Both teams have been trapping well. Here we are. We're going to have a chance to see that pulling. Number 61 does a great job on the inside trap. Steve Prokash.
I have a report on the injured quarterback. What was the matter for Notre Dame?
Prokash starting left guard. This is his first start tonight. This is the first time that he started for Niles Notre Dame tonight. Third down and about a yard. Handoff given to the fullback. He's going to be smeared. I don't think he got it. Seeplick
surge.
Was stopped on a powerful effort by Big Rich Federer, number 70, 5'11", 247. He was
And
there.
Brandon Johnson, who's been all over the field. They're trying to run that dive on the option. And you'll see he doesn't have the opportunity yet. That's Joe Jennings back in, and just a great job by 70, as you mentioned, with his surge in the defensive line. Great job.
So
Federer's been all over the field here.
He has. He's played a lot tonight, and we've mentioned his name a lot. He's played quite well. We're looking at a twin set. Once again, to the far side, it is a 4th down, and
delay against game.
Wow, against
delay of game.
Notre Dame.
4th and 2, and that changes your thinking as far as play calling is concerned from a 4th and 2 or 4th and 7. This is big. It's 14-all right now, and this would be a real momentum booster if Carmel, in the poor field position they have, could really tighten it up here and stop them.
Well,
are they going to punt?
This changes the whole package, Jim. It looks like the punting unit is on the field.
Yep. They sure are. He could cough and corner kick, though.
Bessenhofer standing at midfield, the line of scrimmage, the 39-yard line. Twin backs at the 9-yard line. The ball kind of floats up, takes a bounce. Nobody wants to touch it. It's going to be down inside the 15-yard line by Niles Notre Dame.
He soft-shoed that one. Nice job.
Pretty good. 1st and 10 for Carmel. Hey, stay with us next Friday night at 10 p.m. in advance of our telecast. Steve Cascio will be hosting Prep Weekly starting at 10 p.m. Great features on what is going in the world of prep sports. We bring it to you each week with Steve Cascio, 10 o'clock. That'll be next Friday, October the 10th. Be with us. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Remember, we had Carmel make a 75-yard sustained drive already in this game. And on the first play, they give it to Stykes to the 25, 30, and a touchdown, perhaps saving Jersey tackle. Hanging on for dear life was Henricks.
That's what that was. That was a touchdown saving tackle. That's the counter play to Stykes. You'll see big 75, Jonathan Schmitz, and 62 his teammate. Beautiful. Oh, was that a good counter. 62 Schoenberger. Stykes really utilizes blockers well on that counter play.
Well, that gets him out of difficulty. That's about a 20-yard, 19-yard gain on the pitch. Stykes had to come back to get the ball. He's up the sideline. Look at him go. Still on his feet and driven over the sideline. A huge gain. And on 2 plays, Carmel has totally reversed its field position.
Boy, that's for sure. They're with the win, but they're not throwing the football. They're running the football beautifully. Here we've seen it all night. We'll see this and force the quick pitch right there. And look at him put the hit on. Oh, I'll tell you what great presence of mind of Kevin Dix. He knows he's going to get labeled by that end, and he gets that pitch off, and Stykes does a great job of running that football and keeping his pitch relationship.
43 yards on the gain. 1st and 10. Stykes has been big time in motion. This time the pitch to Stykes. Cuts back and is submarine tackled. Pretty good effort there by Niles Notre Dame's James Gallagher, a junior, 5'11", 172. Very good to stop him with a little gain. Let's go down to the sideline and Dan Richmond.
Thanks, guys. Quick injury update on Notre Dame quarterback Joe Jennings, who was limping a couple series ago. Talked to some people on the Notre Dame sideline. He suffered from cramps the past couple weeks. He was cramping up again. They said to me, hey, it's 85 degrees out. What do you expect from the kid? Let's hope we keep this 85 degrees for the next few weeks. Back to you.
Oh, you better believe it. 2nd down and 7. And again on the counter play, a little bit of game there for Stykes. He's been carrying the ball exclusively on this drive.
That's the same play that he broke for a big play just a couple plays ago, where they pull both Kevin Schoenberger, the left tackle, and also the left guard, Jonathan Schmitz. And both those fellas really kick out, block, and turn up the hole on that misdirection play.
Yeah, by that counter play or misdirection, we're saying the play flows one way, the running back then goes back the other.
Exactly.
That's how it gets the name of a counter, because the action is counter to the flow of the play. 3rd down and 6, a little game. They have McMahon as a wide out to the near side. And again, that single back set, and too much time. Yep,
See, and when you've got a fullback like Jim Hanning in there, he demands respect. When he fakes that football and he gets that ride and then he gets that counter coming back the other way, it's a very good misdirection play. Watch out for the Wares.
Well, I know that Mike Fitzgibbons did not like the looks of that situation with the too much time signal there. And now, as they come up, we're looking at a third down, and it looks like 11 yards to go. Play action fake. Dix trying to run away. He's going to be sacked. Sacked for a loss. And getting through there, David Cantos, the number 2 tackler on the team, and you can see his quickness coming from the weak side.
You can see he's been setting up this ride pass, but he rides Hanny in, but there's penetration right there by the nose guard, and everything falls apart as 54, David Cantos, makes the play. I thought he showed good presence of mind, not trying to make something happen, because he would have thrown an interception maybe in that situation.
Yeah, but fourth down looks to be about 22, 23 yards to go for a first down. What do you pull out of the bag here?
If you're Notre Dame, you would have kicked a field goal.
Dix looks, he's throwing deep down the sideline, batted away at the goal line. McMahon was the target, and a great defensive play, outstanding defensive play.
You know,
by Niles Notre Dame.
We'll see here, Kevin Dix throwing that fade, and it's there. It's a well-thrown ball, but the coverage was excellent. He has a good arm. Looking off, throwing back. The coverage is outstanding, though. Outstanding coverage by Notre Dame, by Ryan Barrett, who had perfect position. It was almost as if he was the wide receiver on that play himself, and that's what you coach your corners to do. Run with the fade, turn your head, and become the receiver.
That comes from a man who knows. He played that position for a long time. First and 10. Niles Notre Dame has it after the drive stops. Handoff to Beckman, the power back, the deep back, and he got some yardage there. Gain of about 3, maybe.
This is a great football game. I'm getting nervous now. 6:30, 14-14. Are we looking at an overtime possibility?
We are in the fourth quarter.
They're sparring. It's like two boxers just fighting the whole time, and now they're sparring here back and forth, trying to get field position.
Niles Notre Dame goes on the attack with a second down and about 6. Again, the eye backfield. Jennings looks to throw this time. It's batted down. Batted down at the line of scrimmage by Mark Harmon. 6'3", 206, the nose guard. He got through. Boy, did he do a job right there for Carmel.
And he got his hands up, and all 6'3" of them. You'll see number 89 come in on the rush. Nice swim move. Oh, he used a great swim move. I don't know if we have a chance to see that again, but he really used excellent technique.
Third down and 6. Will Jennings try to throw again? We're tied at 14 in the fourth quarter, approaching the 6-minute mark. Jennings. Draw play this time. Beckman, great gain. First down, midfield, 40, 35, to the 30, and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. The draw play.
Great call there on the draw. Good situation, a play that broke, and he showed excellent speed on there.
36 yards on the play.
It looks like pass, drops it off. Great turnout blocks, and now Beckman shows excellent speed to the outside. 23 has got an angle, a nice play by Sean Ronkowski. Save a touchdown.
The starting corner, one of the key players in the game, saved a touchdown. First and 10 at the 29. Jennings keeps it inside the 20 to the 15.
He looked real nifty there. Again, he's breaking back the daylight on that option. Most defenses that try to defend the option really over pursue, and you will see Jennings here turn it back to the inside. He's getting the ride. A nice job of cutting underneath. He's finding his own holes. That's kind of an ad-lib play by him off the option. Great peripheral vision.
13 yards on the gain, Jim. First and 10. Notre Dame again down at the 15-yard line. Again, they give it to Seaflick this time, and he gets inside the 15 to about the 12. A gain of 3 on the dive part of the option.
Now Notre Dame smelling pay dirt. They need a big stand by Carmel defensively, and they're running the ball, and the clock is just, the time is vanishing. We only have 5 minutes left in the game.
A lot of running, not to the sideline either. Very little to stop the clock. This has been an exciting ball game tonight. Wideouts left and right. Jennings, 2nd down and 7. The give to Beckman inside the 15. Look at him power his way forward.
What a surge.
Should be close to a 1st down. I think he got it, in which case it'll be 1st and goal around the 5.
That's great power football there. Lead dive, great surge by his line. Watch the entire front come off. They're man blocking. He gets a good, just a little lead block there by 22. Seaflick. Beckman's having a big game for him, the Dons.
He's doing a heck of a job. 2 wideouts again. Jennings, 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Beckman takes it in. Touchdown.
Oh my, what a beautiful play.
Notre Dame goes in front.
74, Kevin O'Malley. He's 6'4", 265. He's only a junior. He really opens up. He really turns his man if we have a chance to see it here. Watch 74 come off the ball to right tackle. 60 does a good job turning his man. It's a lead right there. Right on that. If we could ever freeze frame that, we'll get that down. It was just a great turn block.
And now Bessenhofer on to try the extra point. He has been perfect this year. He still has not missed. Jennings will hold. This one's blocked.
That could be real big. 4:24 is plenty of time.
How about that? That's his first miss.
That's his first miss, you're right.
7-play drive, 2:18.69 yards.
All right, we're going to see here on the touchdown now. Kevin Gibbons is going to turn his man to the inside. We're going to see a great block by 74 and a lead back coming in off the hole for the lead play. And watch it from here. Great hook block, kick out. There's 74. Great. He's really occupying a man, and I don't think anybody got their hand on him as he went in the end zone.
No, he went in wide open. Kevin O'Malley was through that last great kind of a seal block. I mean, he had that whole lane sealed off there.
Notre Dame's got 2 junior tackles. O'Malley, he's only a mere 265. And then the other tackle, Kowalewski, is 324 pounds.
Man, yeah.
I would not want to be buying groceries for that 265.
You sound like an experienced fellow on that.
Well, I've had a couple stops to eat me out of house and home, Bill, you know. Here we go, 4:24.
And now Notre Dame will kick off into the wind. Last time Bessenhofer kicked into this wind, he was able to get it to about the 5-yard line. Carmel will have Stykes as the deep man. And along with him, Sean Brown and John O'Malley. That's their deep receiving trio. Stykes is the deepest at the 5-yard line.
Time for Carmel now to respond to the challenge.
That's what we're going to. That's what we're here for, to find out tonight.
Father was talking about adversity, reacting.
Well, this is every bit the game we thought it would be. These 2 teams have really shown us something tonight. Bessenhofer, the ball hangs up there. It'll be Stykes at the 15, has a big wall behind him. It almost looked like a flying wedge there. Had about 5 men in front of him, got out to the 23. It'll be 1st and 10 for Carmel. If you need to get an elevated experience, let Horizon High Reach help you. Boom lifts, scissor lifts, one-man personal lifts. They'll get you up in the air. Illuminating scaffolding. Call 630-993-1624. Horizon High Reach.
They've been giving us some great pictures off of that left the guys have. Even in the kicking game, it's been great.
Terrific. 1st and 10, 24-yard line. And now Carmel trailing 20-14. They put the Pedro in motion, give it to Hannah, the fullback. Look at him blast forward. You talk about great play. That's an 11-yard gain right away on the dive.
And Hannah's a senior. He's been starting 3 years. He knows how important this game is. This game has playoff and conference championship implications. This is almost like a do-or-die situation in his mind.
Yeah. Carmel needs this game badly. And Dix, the ball came loose, and Dix was able to cover it, very fortunately.
I'd hate to see the game ended on that type of situation. I like it. I'm glad they recovered so we can see what they can do offensively here.
Muffed exchange, that does happen on the option. That's the danger of the option.
I wonder if Coach's stomach got like this in English class as we watch Coach Fitzgibbons down there.
Second down and about 11 yards to go. Dix tries to keep it, and this time the Notre Dame defense was ready for him. What a great play to be able to keep that ball from getting outside. It was Pat Ryan, number 89.
And he plays the wide side, outside linebacker end, whatever you want to call it. But actually, he had turned his shoulders and squared up, and that's a sign that you should pitch the ball. And just for a moment, Kevin Dix had Tony DePietro open on the pitch, but he just didn't make the pitch on that one play.
So now you're looking at 3rd down and 12. They have a double slot to the near side. Dix rolling that way. He has 3 receivers looking downfield. He's got a man wide open at the 40-yard line. At the 30, DePietro takes it down to the 22. What a play.
That was a beautiful play. He ran a flat and up on the sideline. The outside receiver attracted the cornerback and pulled him in, and you could see it developing from up here. This will be fantastic to see this on a replay. We get a little wider picture. There's your inside routes coming, you'll see, and there's your inside route, number 80, and on the flatten up, DePietro runs outside that play.
1st and 10, Carmel on the attack. Hannah, the quick hitter, the fullback ride. That was a 45-yard pass play. Coach Fitzgibbons told us before the game he'd be happy if they didn't throw all game. I'll bet you he doesn't not happy about that pass.
Not at all, and that was well done. It was set up because number 80, Jerry McMahon, ran to the inside, pulled the corner, and the sideline and up, the flatten up was wide open.
McMahon to the near side, Meyer to the far side. We have 4 quick receivers here. The man in motion is DePietro. They give it to Hannah, and he gets a couple of yards.
They can be patient here, but they have some timeouts remaining, but they've got to watch the clock because it's at 1:50 and ticking.
And remember that Notre Dame trying to hold on to a precious 6-point lead at 20-14. Can Carmel score, or can Notre Dame keep them out of the end zone?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Sticks on a counter right now, pulling their big lineman. They've had a lot of success with it.
McMahon and ours are the wide receivers, single back formation again. Stikes the man in motion. The pitch goes to him. He's got an open seam and cuts back, gets some yardage, and is finally stopped. That was an awfully nice open field tackle.
Stikes on the pitch. First down, move the Sticks. Move the Stikes, huh? Nice ride. There's the pitch. Finds the lane. And I'll tell you what, 70 was one step. Rich Federer was one step away if he goes flat of making the touchdown block on that crossfield situation.
1st and 10, the ball at the 13, Jim. Here we go. Again, they're in their power set now. And the quarterback, it goes to the fullback, Hannah, and he takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow.
That's the guy to give it to, isn't he? 3-year starter, and boy, he smelled the end zone. Great blocking. What a football game.
Jim Hannah, his 7th touchdown of the year, and what a time to get it.
Straight ahead dive situation with a lead back coming in there. Beautiful play.
That was on their power set.
Action.
They went right into their power set, their full house backfield, and got the score. Now the score is tied, and the all-important extra point. Navarre will kick it. The ball is down. The kick is up. It looks good. It is. And Carmel has taken the lead on a 76-yard, 8-play drive, covering 3 minutes, 22 seconds, and there is a minute 2 left in the ball game.
Great touchdown run, great blocking, great lead block, and it was all set up with that pass that got him that great field position. We're going to have an opportunity to see the touchdown again and watch the great blocking inside, tackle, turnout block, lead back coming through, and give the ball to Hannah. There it is, turnout block, lead block, beautifully done. What a team effort that was.
Outstanding, and that lead block was very, very effective in getting them into the end zone. All right, now there are 3 timeouts left for Notre Dame. They have all of their timeouts. That's important. But right now, every type of time-saving offensive thing that you have, that's what you're going to use here. And that means that, like it or not, to a degree, Niles Notre Dame is going to have to think about throwing the ball. Navarre with the wind, he booms the ball. Back to the goal line, he went into the end zone to catch it. And Barrett decided not to bring it out. 1st and 10 at the 20. Niles Notre Dame with 1:01 remaining and 80 yards to go, or at least somewhere near that. Let's go down to Dan Richmond on the field. Dan?
Guys, prior to the Carmel's last offensive possession, a couple of the Notre Dame defensive coaches were saying, don't let him turn upfield, don't let him turn upfield. Well, obviously, Carmel turned upfield and got in the end zone. It just goes to show you how big that blocked extra point was a little bit earlier for Notre Dame. Back to you.
And now, Jim, one of the key things is the foot of Bessenhofer. If they can get him within range, even against the wind, he's probably good for 45 yards out.
Got to go 80 yards.
Sets up in there. Jennings throwing to the sideline. Was he inbounds as he made the catch? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Over the sideline went Henricks.
He sure went flying out of bounds. He ran a flag or corner pattern under the post pattern. And it was a well-thrown ball. Another yard to the sideline, he would have had that catch.
Notre Dame,
how about that draw? I don't know. They got a timeout, but they're not expecting it.
Remember, they've got 3 timeouts here. They have the luxury of keeping the ball in the center of the field if they want to.
It'll be a gamble.
2nd down and 10. The eye backfield, Jennings. There it is, the draw play. You call for it, Beckman, though he's smeared.
I hope they didn't listen to me, because I think just as we were thinking about it up here, Carmel's coaches are saying the same thing. Watch the draw, watch the screen, because they had success with that play just last series.
All right, it'll be 3rd down and 13. They did not call a timeout here. Jennings looking to the near side, tipped away. Tipped away on a great defensive play by Carmel's big number 82, Adam Meyer. And it was Adam Meyer who got burned on a play earlier in the game, but boy, did he make up for it right here.
You're going to see a post and a flag pattern like they threw to the other side, but he got deep enough, Meyer did, as Jennings drops back. Right there, you'll see the post and a flag, and he got good depth on his drop, and that's what made such a difference on that play.
So now it's 4th and 13. This is the ball game right here. I'm a little surprised that Notre Dame did not try to take a timeout perhaps in here, but...
Well, you only get 4, you get 4 shots at getting the first down, but you need some yardage. Besenhofer, unfortunately, missed that extra point. He's had such a great game, career kicking at Notre Dame.
Yes. All right, we want to remind you that any rebroadcast or retransmission or any part of this broadcast without the written permission of Cost Broadcast Sales Incorporated is strictly prohibited. Now a 4th down, 13 to go. This is the play of the ball game. We have 29 seconds left.
Here's where you look for plays like a hook and lateral, things that trick plays you work on. Hit the turn in, toss it back to a back coming out of the backfield, those types of situations they need. This is all or nothing.
Henricks and Barrett are the wideouts. Henricks to the near side, Barrett to the far side, the I formation. Jennings looking for Barrett on the sideline, overthrows him. Carmel has control on the 4th and 13. The ball goes over to Carmel.
What a game. This puts Carmel right back in it. 4-2 record. Right, only one. Actually, they've defeated Notre Dame now.
Yes.
Here in this, and they have Bishop McNamara coming up. Jennings is going to look off. He has a fade going up. He looks off right, throws back left to the deep fade. Close. Nice overlap coverage also.
So the ball goes over.
This is a tough loss, too.
Yeah,
tough
indeed.
loss.
Two
great football teams, Bill.
Notre Dame drops to 1-2 in the conference. Carmel goes to 2-1. Each team has 2 losses on the year. And now they're in what some refer to as the victory formation. Dix, everybody in there tight, just one knee down. And that may run out the clock, actually. You see the time remaining.
They don't even have to snap the ball again.
Yeah, we'll see if Notre Dame tries to stop it. They may.
I don't think so.
Let's see. Clock is stopped. Timeout, Notre Dame. So it looks like they will. Of course, they're just going to run the same play over and over again. You can't dunk the center. That's not legal anymore. So that takes out that option. They have that center protection rule in there now.
You get a chance to see that great play on the goal line where Jim Hanna follows his lead blocker. Good turnout block, good hook block by the guard. And there's a senior three-year starter, and that's why Coach Fitzgibbon says he is one of their team leaders.
Oh, man, he's been sensational. Jim Hanna,
he's been running that left side quite a bit. We got to give credit too, Bill, to Kevin Schoenberger, and number 62 and number 75, Jonathan Schmitz. And I wish I could catch the number of the lead back on there because he made a great block.
Well, he knows it. He knows it right now.
They'll see it in films.
Yeah, 20 seconds left to go here. Carmel will again go into its victory formation. They reset the clock. It was down to 17. Here is Dix. And again, to one knee. Nothing anybody can do about that. Let's see if they just decide to run it out here. And I think this time they will. No, they've stopped the clock once again. Well, Carmel, they've done such a great job here at this school. You've got to give them a lot of credit. We want to thank both schools. Niles Notre Dame, the athletic directors, Carmel of Mundelein, Sister Mary F. McLaughlin, Father Robert Carroll, we heard from him earlier, the principal, Andrew Bitto, the athletic director, and he also is one of the football coaches, Andy Bitto, on this team. And to Notre Dame of Niles, Reverend Kenneth Molinari, the principal, Michael Hennessy, and of course head football coach as well. I thank the coaches, Coach Hennessy and Coach Fitzgibbons, for their time during the week to help bring us up to speed on these programs. Don't forget, one of these three games you'll be watching next week. And then another game is a surprise one. We'll be looking at everybody.
That's the question mark game, number 3, right?
That's the stealth game. Nazareth at Chicago Christian, Bolingbrook at Romeoville, or another game that we may select. It'll be one of those three. So now, 3rd down and 16. And interesting, Carmel has one deep back just in case something happens. Again, the victory formation. And
that
Carmel
should be it. And, you know, there's just Coach Hennessy's telling his Notre Dame team, hey, we'll use our timeouts. It's just a message that you never quit. You do everything you can to hang in the game, even though he knew they were going to run out of time.
And that's exactly what has happened. The two teams stream out onto the field, and Carmel feels like they've won the national championship tonight. You got to believe it. It's a great, great victory. Niles Notre Dame, this is a great rivalry where these schools know each other well, and they played every bit up to our expectations here this evening, with Carmel winning by a point on a last-minute touchdown by Jim Hanna. Our final score, 21-20, Carmel over Niles Notre Dame. Bill Hazen for Jim Covert saying so long from Mundelein for tonight.
On a completely unrelated topic takes me a lot longer. And that, again, is kind of what I'm starting to sense on the internet. There are people out there who are very, very good at it in this area, in this tightly defined subject area or activity area. But if they have to go beyond that, it gets real tough.
Right.
The other angle is how much longer is it going to be before a lot of this stuff will not be available for free. There's already, and I just discovered this the other day, the Code of Federal Regulations, marvelous tool. If you suffer from insomnia, I recommend it. It's the big government document of all the federal regulations. There is a site out there that I can access for free right now to get the complete text of whatever citation from the CFR, the Code of Federal Regulations, that you might want, all right? But the hang-up is I have to know the citation number. I can't just know the subject. I have to know that it's Title 17, Section 101.2, Parent B. All right? I can get at that for free. But if I don't have the citation, if I only have the subject, the other site that I found that would allow me to search by subject is a fee-based service now. So I also believe that it's not going to be too much longer before some of this stuff you're not going to be able to get into at home, nor are you going to be willing to pay for it, you know, $1,000 a year for it.
It becomes a money thing. And that's why, again, having the fundraiser is going to be a great thing to try to help with a lot of those costs. And again, with the transition period, the progression that the Fremont Library is making, this is a great event. It's a Give a Gift to Your Library fundraiser. It will take place Saturday, November 8th at 7 p.m. till 11 p.m. It's by invitation only. And if you want to get hold of an invitation, you can contact Kathleen Callahan, the guest to my left, the Community Relations Coordinator, at 566-8702. Again, that's 566-8702.
From Carmel High School, Jones and Ashley presents our high school football game of the week. And on a night better set for, say, June or July, it's October, and we've got 75-degree temperatures, I'd say, at kickoff here between the Carmel Corsairs and the Notre Dame Dons in a Catholic Metropolitan Green game. I'm Chip Egan along with Jerry Ming to bring you all the action, and this should be a good one. Notre Dame enters with an overall of 4-1, a conference record of 1-1. Their only loss to Bennett, an 8-0 game in the mud, whereas for the Corsairs, they're 3-2 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Notre Dame coming in off a big 30-0 win over Brother Rice, while the Corsairs lost to the Caravan of Mount Carmel 49-34. As we get set to kick this one off, the Dons will be kicking from right to left. Bill Bessenhofer, one of the best kickers in the state, will get this one underway. And that's a high driving kick through the end zone. And the Corsairs are going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And Jerry, we were just kind of shooting the bull a little bit before the game about this kid Bessenhofer, and boy, he was taking shots from 45 yards out in field goal attempts and was making them.
And they were into the wind. That kickoff was with the wind, and if our camera couldn't quite catch it, because it almost went out of our viewing area, it landed outside the end zone in the air. Granted, a little wind aided, but this kid got a leg.
He kicked that into Libertyville from here. So the Corsairs have it 1st and 10. Quarterback Kevin Dix has John Stikes and Jim Hanna, 2-3 in the area in rushing yardage, and Jay Navarre as the other wingback. And here's a pitch to the outside. This is John Stikes. Cuts it back in, and he's out to about the 24-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play before he was stopped by big number 76, Andy Bauman. Let me set the Carmel offense for you. As I mentioned, it's Dix at quarterback, Hanna the fullback, Stikes and Navarre the wingbacks. Jake Arzer is a wide receiver along with Jerry McMahon. Rich Federer, Dave Lawler, Kevin Brandel, Jonathan Schmitz, and Kevin Schoenberger are the offensive linemen for the Corsairs, who now have a 2nd and 6 coming up.
Oh, good read.
And straight up the middle they go, and carrying the ball this time is Jim Hanna, and he's going to have that 1st down as he's out to the 32-yard line.
Play that was designed to go off guard. They were blocking down, and Hanna just read it and kicked it outside. And I tell you, there was only one guy again. You know this guy's got the speed. We know he's got the explosiveness, and he's just showed us right there. He's got the eyes to pick the right place to be.
After this play, I'll give you the Notre Dame defense, which, as I mentioned, shut out Brother Rice last weekend. Big 30-0 win. 1st and 10 now at the 32-yard line. And here's a give inside. The ball carrier, Stikes, picks up a couple of blocks, has a 1st down as he gets out to the 43-yard line. Tackle on the play by Jim Amatori.
A couple of good lead blocks. They pulled the left guard, Kevin Schoenberger, number 62, and number 21, Jake Arzer. Got some good downfield blocks, and as you said, the running backs wait for these blocks to develop, and he picked up a 1st down. Just, I tell you, you don't diagram it any better than that.
John Sinchuk and Pat Ryan are the ends. David Cantos, Andy Bauman, the tackles, and the nose guard is Tony Salvage. On 1st and 10, it's Hanna, and he gets out to about the 47-yard line, so he picked up 3 on that play. The linebackers, John Harrington, T.B. Makaran, Jim Amatori, Michael Brosnan is a cornerback, and the safeties Bill Stanton and Ryan Barrett. Now looking at this Carmel offense, they picked up 460 yards of total offense in that loss last week, Jerry, and certainly running the football hasn't been a problem, and we've seen it through their first several plays so far where they've garnered a couple of first downs and are now out near midfield.
After this play, we'll come back to the statistics. Uh-oh.
That ball loose. Stykes dove back on top of it.
Nope.
Let's see if he's got it.
He lost it, I think.
And it's Notre Dame football. The pitch was behind Stykes, who couldn't pull it in, and Notre Dame picks it up. They get the turnover, and for the Carmel Corsairs, well, things have been even now on the season for them. They were +1 in the turnover ratio coming into the ball game, and now with that, they're right back to even.
And that's not good. You want to be more than just +1 after, what do we played, 5 games here. They want to be a real good team defensively, and we'll come back to that. They're number 3 in the area offensively, but they're way down in the pack defensively. They're giving up too many yards, and they're giving up too many turnovers, as it shows when you're even at this point in the season.
Joe Jennings, the quarterback, back to throw. Guns it to the outside where he has a receiver.
And the ball's loose again.
And the ball's loose, and the Corsairs say they have it. Flags are down all over the field, though, and they came a-flying after the snap.
I think what we're going to have is a procedure penalty on the Dons. Had it been on the defense, you know, the play would have been stopped right away, so Lady Luck may have just bounced back in the hands of the Corsairs. Illegal shift.
And that's going to go against the Dons. Declined. And the Corsairs dodge a bullet and get the football back.
You know, sometimes you just plain got to be lucky. We were reading the write-ups on last week's game, and they talked of how against Brother Rice, I mean, the game wasn't, they hardly even had the kicking tee off the field, and the Dons were up 10-0. They had gotten them for a touchdown right away, or an interception for a touchdown right away, 3 and out for Brother Rice, and they did an offensive series for the Dons, and they kicked a field goal, so it was 10-0. You know, that's something that they're used to being a little bit more dominating, and Carmel, as we said, has got to control the ball, and they can do it on the ground. We know they can do it. They got to hang on to it.
Stykes in motion. Straight up the middle is Hanna. And he picked up about 3 on the play before he was stopped there. You know, we were looking back at the total number of yards that the Corsairs picked up last week. As I said, 460. Now, that's a ton of yardage. For most teams, that's 3, maybe even 4 ball games.
Yep.
But I think when you look at it, on the ground, you're getting it done. But the Corsairs aren't a team that really throws the ball. In fact, they're averaging just under 7 passes a ball game.
Yeah, and that's it exactly. When you run this much and you can control the ball, you know, they're going to have a lot of stats in their favor. Yardage, time of possession. There's a good, he's got to fight for it. Now, I think he's going to come up just short because he stepped out of bounds. But what a tough play. Number 80 there for the Corsairs, Jerry McMahon. I tell you, he got that thing. He went up high, got it, and then he was really, really wrestling for that first down. Brings up 3rd and 1, but he knew where he had to get.
Just as we talk about the Corsairs not throwing the ball a whole lot this year, all of a sudden they come up with a pass play. It does pick up 7, and it is a 3rd down and 1 now at their own 36-yard line. Jake Arzer came into the ball game, bringing in the play, and he comes wide to the right side.
Don's playing a 5-man down, 3 linebackers in tight. They want to get this.
Here's a pitch to the outside. The ball carrier is going to have a first down. And rushing with the football is Tom DiPietro, his first carry of the night, and he gets out to the 47-yard line, 11-yard pickup.
You know, just barely get the words out of my mouth that the Dons were playing a 5-men down, 3 linebackers, and so everybody was in tight. That really makes you vulnerable if somebody can get around the end. They got a good crackback block from their offensive end. Number 80 McMahon, he sealed down, and that gave him the corner.
So the Corsairs right back where they stopped their last drive. Here's DiPietro again, and he's going to pick up a couple as he gets out to the 49-yard line. Zinchuk right there to lay a helmet on him.
You know, one thing that the Corsairs do so well, sometimes I look at their offensive set and you think, gee, it's so predictable, but they don't. You know, they're so predictable that you don't know what they're going to do, and they really mix it up well, and they execute. And that misdirection play, man, they had everybody running to the offensive right. DiPietro was the lone man going back to the left. Yeah, he's out there, you know, as the lone ranger. But if the linebacker sucks for the fake at all, he's got plenty of running room.
Here's a pitch to DiPietro once again. Has blockers and a first down. Has the sideline with 1 man to beat. And he's dragged down from behind at about the 15-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle made by Bill Stanton.
I tell you, and here again, they just executed. They're getting some just outstanding offensive blocks there. Number 80, Jerry McMahon, is doing just a whale of a job. Let's get some stats on him. Big kid, 6'1", 191 pounds, and he's doing an outstanding job of sealing off the end, which gives DiPietro or whoever the corner, and then DiPietro, you think he's going to get razzed about getting caught by a linebacker?
Tell you what, though, that's a 36-yard pickup, and
yep,
not a bad linebacker. Actually, from the safety, Stanton making the
oh,
tackle.
Look at that.
Straight up the middle, across the 10 to about the 7. Stanton, though, 5'11", 182, as Hannah the ball carrier, but, you know, they may laugh at him for being brought down, but Stanton's quick, and that's one thing that Mike Fitzgibbon said that this Notre Dame team brings. Not a lot of size, but boy, are they quick. To the football, to the block, you name it, they can make a move real fast.
Well, and there was a real good angle of pursuit, too. He did a good job of picking the spot where he was going to intercept him on the sideline, and it worked. Back to that last play when Hannah, he went through the line. He hit somebody like a bull raging through and just shrugged his shoulders, and somebody came bouncing out of there, and it wasn't Hannah.
Stykes up the middle, broke through a couple of tackles, and got down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
I think that was Hannah. The Stykes, I think, got the fake on that. I thought it was Hannah.
Yeah,
33.
Hannah was the ball carrier. And he did get down to the 3-yard line.
And here again, what a good job of faking, because they sent everybody, and Hannah was so explosive going through there that he just pounded into somebody, brings up 1st and goal from, oh, shoot, they're actually inside the 3.
Out of Notre Dame defense, which didn't give up a point last week, and in fact has been a stellar defensive unit all season, has their backs to the wall right now. Just under 7 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Stykes the ball carrier, and he's just short of the goal line. Picked up a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Yes, it is 2 yards as they mark it at the 1.
Tough territory down there when you've got quickness, you've got size. You just, you know, at this point in the season, these teams are starting to peak just a little bit. And the referee's showing you it's a long yard for the touchdown. And they, you know, this is where execution really has to come in. No errors, no mental mistakes. They just have to get the job done.
Taylor Murray, 81, brought in, so 2 tight ends for the Corsairs. On the ground, it's a touchdown. John Stykes from 1 yard out scores at the 6:15 mark, and the Corsairs strike first blood.
And nobody touched him. You notice he went in through that whole mass of humanity. They all went for Hannah. When you've got a guy with that size and that kind of a power up the middle, everybody went for the fake to Hannah. Stykes just went off tackle, totally untouched. He could have run 120 yards if he needed to.
And the Corsairs will try to tack the point on now. The point after on, I should say. And doing the kicking will be Jay Navarre. Kevin Dix will hold. And the kick is up, and this one is through. So with 6:15 left to go in the first quarter, it's the Corsairs 7 and the Notre Dame Dons nothing. So both teams with a turnover so far, but only the Corsairs able to make the Dons pay for it.
When you look at what they did, they lost the ball, lost their offensive rhythm a little bit, get it back right away, and then where did they start? Right about the 30-yard line?
Yeah.
28?
Yeah, 28-yard line.
They good sustained drive. You know, they mixed it up in the middle. They went to their left an awful lot that time. They only went right, I think, twice in that series until they were down on the goal line. But
well, we talked about it last time we were here when they played St. Lawrence, and you've got Jonathan Schmitz at the guard position and Kevin Schoenberger. Schmitz is a guy that Division I schools are looking at, and we had a feeling that they would probably go to the left more often than not. But remember back to the St. Lawrence game, real nice combination of left, right, and it pounds you up the middle. And when you got backs the size of Hannah and Stykes that can make some noise up the middle, well, you got all bases covered pretty much as far as your running game's concerned.
You know, we talk about size. Stykes at 185 and Hannah at 191. Those are some big bulls coming through there.
Barrett and Mike Hinriches are back defense. Hinriches has the football and a seat. Breaks it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Nice return for the Dons. The tackle on that play made by Aaron Wynn. But Notre Dame with some pretty nice field position, starting up at their own 41-yard line.
I think it was Wynn. I'm not sure if it was Wynn or number 80 McMahon who came in, but either way, what a wall they had set up there. If he doesn't get caught, you know, then you're into a one-on-one with the kicker at midfield, and then it's real dangerous territory.
Notre Dame's offense on the year has scored 121 points. Defensively has allowed just 39. This is a team that can get it done on both ends of the ball. Here's a give straight up the middle. That's a big hole for the running back, and he's going to have some good yardage. Rick Siplick with the ball, and he gets out to the Corsair 45-yard line.
Right up the middle, and he just ran through tackles. The Corsairs seemed to think that they were going a little bit more to their defensive right. They overplayed it and left the left side virtually untouched, and that was just a good execution.
Siplick, a 6', 185-pound senior. In fact, he, quarterback Joe Jennings, wide receiver John Kradick, and guard Kevin Gibbons, along with one other player I'll give you in a second. And again, it's up the middle for the Dons. Short gain on the play. Pick up a couple, bring up second out. Actually, 5 yards of the play, second down and 5. Peter Sardar-Beckians is the other senior. 6'1", 195 pounds. So a lot of these guys will be back next year for head coach Mike Hennessy. In fact, they graduated a lot of guys last season. Jennings, the only returning starter from last year. Here's a pitch to the outside. With the football is Bill Stanton, and he's going to have a first down.
Well executed, number 10 for them. Let's get his name. John
Kradick
went down and did just a good job of throwing a downfield block. And it wasn't like a bone crusher. He didn't take and knock the guy down. He was just a nemesis. He was in his face and acted really as a screen, but he kept the linebacker from coming up to try and meet that pitch man, and that's what gave him the first down. It wasn't an outstanding block, but it sure got the job done.
There's the Joe Jennings, the quarterback, right in the middle of your picture. And on the ground, straight up the middle, the ball carrier, Siplick. And he's met just past the line of scrimmage, Brandon Johnson. Got to him first.
That's the way the linebackers, on that first couple series we saw going up the middle, it seemed like they were past the linebackers and the tackle was being made from behind. There you saw Johnson step into the hole right away and bring him down. He still let him fall forward for a yard and a half or so, but he had him met at the line of scrimmage.
So second down and 8. The ball at the 31-yard line of Carmel, and we have an official's timeout on the field. Yeah, it'll give us a chance to let you know who's doing the officiating for tonight. The referee is Don Welter, the umpire Steve Turinsky, lineman Jim Glukert, line judge George Casper, and the back judge is John Jacobsy.
Whatever they needed fixing, they got fixed.
Boy, we've had a lot of equipment problems this year. People adjusting shoulder pad strap and everything. Tape them up, boys. Let's keep it going. Jennings back to throw, looking to the outside. Had a receiver incomplete. In and out of the hands of Hinrichs. And coverage supplied that time by the cornerback, John O'Malley.
Good job by O'Malley. Once again, we talked about how they play the man and not the ball, but his timing was really good, and that if that wide receiver does come down with it, he literally is going to get tackled right away. And I think O'Malley's hit, and this guy might have heard footsteps coming at him.
Talk about the Notre Dame defense only allowing 39 points so far this year. Carmel, conversely, has given up 120 while scoring 143 of their own. So they're 23 on the plus side, but defensively, they've been giving up a lot. Jennings back to throw, under some pressure now. Floats out to his right, still under pressure, throws it. He's got a receiver, that's Stanton. Had some blockers and gets up around the 25-yard line, brought down actually at the 26. So they're going to be short of a first down, but they were able to pick up positive yardage out of a play that possibly could have lost them 10, if not more.
Well, and it looked like it originally was designed to be a quick hitter to the wide receiver who went down just about 8-10 yards and turned around. But because the defense was in there right away and had their hands up, then they started to drift back, and then it was set up like it was if I don't get the first pass off, you guys be ready for a center screen, which is what they did because no linemen were down, and they were all in like a pocket protecting that number 25 to get the pass.
And here comes that 25, and he's going to have the first down. Rick Siplick picks up 3 and has the first, so a fresh set of downs coming for the Dons. 3:10 left to go here in the opening quarter. It's Carmel 7 and Notre Dame 0.
The defense has got to shore it up a little bit. They certainly don't want to, be out there that long and give up a touchdown. They need to just shut them off.
Dick Beckman now the tailback in the I formation. And he's going to get the call. On the pitch to the outside, cuts it back in. Well read by the Corsair defense as he gets inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. The tackle that time made by Jeff Hunt.
Number 22, Lucas Lindsay, came in from his secondary position. I'm looking at the way they line up, and here, you know, we talked about this last week. The Rams, I felt, did this. As they're getting closer to the end zone, their secondary was still lined up awfully deep. But credit Lindsay with doing a good job of getting up there right away and shutting that off. And he did not make the tackle, but he had an assist in there.
Keith Zilski goes wide to the right side now. I formation again behind Jennings.
Up
and
the middle.
it's Siplick with the carry. And he's going to have a first down inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. Tackle that time by Lucas Lindsay, who made it deep in the secondary.
I tell you, they talk about going for the fake. Everybody was going for that wide man. They knew they had wide side of the field to their offensive right for the Dons, and they did not want to let him get out there and have a race to the corner. They totally ignored the dive man, and Siplick went, you know, for big yardage.
Well, we expected to see both teams run a lot tonight, and so far we have. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the quarter now. And on the option, Jennings keeps it, puts his head down, and he scores. Touchdown. 8-yard run by Joe Jennings.
A strange defensive alignment. Their secondary man, once again, was all the way back into the end zone. And against a team that runs the option as often and as well as they do, I think you've got to take a different defensive set because you're not going. We've got a man down there, number 24. That's O'Malley. I think he just caught a little elbow or a knee in the face there because he was a little woozy getting up. But while we've got this official's timeout, you know, the secondary for me seems to be awful deep when they've only got 2 or 3 yards to protect.
Boy, a fine job by that offensive front, though, to open up some gaping holes. And as I was talking about earlier with Prokash, Gibbons, Wallenberg, Kowalewski, and O'Malley up front, the Dons have a formidable line. Kowalewski, 324, 6'6". Wallenberg, the center, 5'11", 255. Kevin O'Malley, 6'4", 265. Doesn't matter really where you put him. You're going to be effective. Gibbons is a runt at 6'1", 195, as is Prokash at 5'10", 195.
Good God. Those guys are the size of most college lines.
That is big. Bessenhofer now will try the point after. He is perfect in point afters this year. And that string will continue. Drills it right through the heart of the uprights, and with 1:47 left to go here in the first quarter, it's 7-7, Carmel and Notre Dame.
Next time we're down at that end of the field, we'll try to get one of our cameras to give you a shot. There's a guy up there on one of these platforms, you know, the expandable platforms. He's as high as the top of the goalpost. There you see him. The ball went over that platform. That's how high. And that guy's, well, he's up beyond the fence, so he's probably 25, 30 yards behind the goalpost. And there you see it in your screen. That ball went through the uprights and over that platform camera. Unbelievable.
Oh, Bessenhofer, you know, trying those 50 yards, 45, 50-yarders before the game, hitting a few of those, kicking them into the wind. So with the wind, there's no doubt this guy's going to get some yardage on it, as he will on this kickoff, as you'll see. But, boy, he is a tough son of a gun. 5'8", 175-pound senior. He's got the leg strength of a mule.
And that leg strength and that one leg may just get him a college scholarship and pay for his education somewhere.
And, you know, it's certainly helping that defense, too. If you don't allow a run back and you're kicking it into the end zone, heck, your defense gets that much more time to rest, come back out. They'd have to allow the offense to go 80 yards instead of giving them a good run back. And here's the kick. And that one will not be returned. In fact, the back judge had a better chance of catching it than did the return man.
Wow.
So 1st and 10 again for the Corsairs at the 20-yard line. And get used to me saying that anytime the Dons score.
You know, when you look at what that does, other games we talked about last time we were here in the St. Lawrence game, Carmel seemed to start with the ball on or about the 50-yard line. They were right at midfield, give or take a yard or two each time, and it was outstanding field position for them. Now, because of that kick being as long as it is, they got to start at the 20. I mean, that's a difference right there. I mean, it's 30 yards, obviously, but psychologically, it's a tremendous difference.
Straight up the middle, it's Hanna. Now he's down, out near a first down at the 29-yard line. It looked as though he had been wrapped up and hit the ground, but one of the Dons got underneath him, so no contact had been made. And Hannah just rolled forward for another 2 yards and now brings up a 2nd and 1.
That's how tough that guy is, you know, and you can, there's that age-old rule, you don't stop until you hear the whistle defensively, because a guy like Hannah is giving it full tilt. He's going to keep right on going. You relax your grip, he's going to run through you.
And they give it right back to him. Has the first down out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. 7-yard pickup when all the Corsairs needed was 1, but he hurdled a man about 3 yards downfield.
I think that guy's run through the tires or the ropes, you know, a couple times. He had those knees going high. If somebody was going to reach for one, it's now you see it, now you don't. And you got to believe that that's what makes that guy so successful. He just runs hard, whether it's 1 yard they need or 101.
Hannah had 115 yards rushing against Mount Carmel. That's unheard of against the Caravan. And they keep it on the ground again. Out close to the 40-yard line is John Stikes. So they pick up about 5 on that play. Stikes with just his 5th carry of the evening now. Hannah's been doing the bulk with 7. But Hannah, not a bad game in his own right, 94 yards. Kevin Dix ran for 49 and threw 10 passes on the day for 156 yards. But, boy, Mount Carmel, in talking to some people that covered the game and had been there, they were amazed that the Caravan gave up that much in offense. Here's DiPietro on the inside handoff. And he's going to be a couple yards shy of that first down. Stopped at the 42-yard line. Inside there to make the tackle was Pat Ryan. Pat Ryan is a good one, too. 6'5", 210-pound senior. That guy's the anchor to the defense on that end position. That does it for the first quarter here at Carmel High School. Both teams were able to find the end zone, and it's 7-7. Quickly recapping it for you, Stikes scored on a 1-yard run. After the Corsairs turned the ball over, Notre Dame turned it right back over, and then Stikes was able to cap off a 78-yard drive, or 72-yard drive, with a 1-yard plunge to make it 7-0 Carmel. But then with 1:47 left to go here in the opening quarter, Joe Jennings scored on a quarterback keeper from 8 yards out. Point after tied it up at 7-7, which is how we stand going into the second quarter. And
you got to wonder with what we've seen so far offensively and the inability for either defense to stop the opposition, this may be one of those whoever, A, makes the fewest mistakes, so obviously they maintain ball possession, but whoever has the ball last at the end of the game may well come out on top on this.
Well, we talked about the number of points allowed by each team, too, and, you know, I don't want to harp on it, but in Carmel, giving up 120, they've scored 143. That's obviously a plus 23, but defensively, I think if you look at what your problem area is, there it is right there. You're giving up a lot of points through 5 games, 120 points. That's a pretty good amount. You're giving up, what, quick math, I can't do it. Oh, I hate new math.
124 points a game.
124 points a game?
24 points
I was going to say 124 would be pretty impressive. But still, if the defense can come up with a stop somewhere along the line, that could be all right. Here's a pitch. DiPietro can't find it, has to dive back, but it looks like Notre Dame's going to have the football at the Corsair 27-yard line, and they do. Andy Bauman fell on top of that one, and again, it was on the option. A pitch was behind the running back, and he couldn't retreat quick enough to get the football.
Low and behind him, and that's, you know, we're going to come back to Kevin Dix. He's got to get that up. If anything, lead that runner and let him run underneath it. Don't make him have to slow down for it. And God, never let him have to reach backwards for it or he's going to get killed.
That's the second time tonight that's happened to the Corsairs now. The last time that occurred, Notre Dame gave it right back. But now they're sitting pretty at the Corsair 34-yard line. Inside, Henrich is with the football, and he picks up a yard, a hard-earned yard on that one. He got out of a tackle by Joe Romano and then was able to slip forward. And actually, we'll give him credit for the length of a football.
Credit Romano with coming through and making the contact. As you said, he didn't make the tackle, but he was just enough to not only knock him off stride, but it drove him a little bit deeper, gave the defense of the other man who came in for the tackle, gave him that split second to get in there and shut him off before that running back has a chance to go wide.
Second down and about 9.5 now for the Dons. Jennings
nice play
on the keeper, cuts it back inside and gets thrown down at the Corsair 29-yard line. Tackle that time made by Kevin Brandel, and in tossing him forward, he gave him another yard or two.
Oh, yeah, and they had him at the line of scrimmage, too, because left defensive end on that, I believe it was number 62 for them. Kevin Schoenberger did a great job of really penetrating so that quarterback couldn't come wide. Did a good job of hanging onto the ball and turning upfield, and then the Corsairs just forgot to put him away. They had him.
Well, here's a situation where you ask your defense to step it up, a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 4 at the 29-yard line. I formation behind Jennings. He's going to throw the football.
Nobody to contain him.
Has some pressure to the outside, and he's not able to get outside the tackle by Brandon Johnson. Fine effort by Johnson to step it up, bring down Jennings, and it's 4th down.
Hardly get the words out of my mouth that there's nobody to contain him, and Brandon Johnson came and caught him from behind. Just a good job, because if he doesn't catch him, he's got the 1st down.
Well, you talk containment, nobody to the outside to force Jennings back in, and it was a tackle from behind that Johnson had to make, or else Jennings has that 1st down, if not more.
Good foot speed. You know, Johnson is showing us some quickness. He really accelerated when he had to. 4th and 5 here, big play.
Don showing us some confidence in the offense. Jennings pitches it to the outside.
Good job.
And Siplick is going to be just short of the 1st down. Stopped at the 26-yard line by a charge led by 24 John O'Malley, and that brought Mike Fitzgibbons a hopping out to the 30-yard line with enthusiasm.
I tell you, the guy ought to be, is he the cheerleading coach when he's not the foot? Because he jumped, both legs went wide. I don't know what they call that maneuver, but it was, he could have done the splits in midair. He was so high, but good job by the defense there. They came up and met that option right away. Not only did they stop the quarterback before he could get wide, but then O'Malley did a great job of filling in behind him.
Tell you, that's a coach that's fun to watch, and we talked about it before. He'll spend more time on the field than he will on the sideline. Off the gut that time, but the stomach was full. Jim Hanna about a yard, and that's it.
And yet the way that play developed, it was kind of like they were getting into a wrestling match there. Hanna was leaning forward. 2 guys were pushing backwards, and he wasn't down. He wasn't going forward. He wasn't going backwards. He was really going nowhere, but he had 2 or 3, and then more had to come in before they could finally wrestle him down.
Boy, these 2 teams really go at it tooth and nail. Last year in Niles at Notre Dame High School, the Dons came up with a 20-15 victory, and these 2 always play tight ball games. Kevin Dix pitches it to the outside. Here's Stikes. Nowhere to go. Beautiful job of penetrating the line and reading the play by the Dons defense.
Now, number 40, Jay Navarre, we're going to single him out, did not get a block, not even a screen block on the guy, and that allowed him, if he would have at least stayed with his man, I think Stikes could have come back inside, but he was doomed right away, and that brings up 3rd and 12 almost.
I think it was Mike Hinrichs that got through and made the tackle. Beautiful job of defending the option by the Dons. So it brings up a 3rd down and 12 now at their 25. The Corsairs have DiPietro in motion.
Oh, no, he's running
Dix
for his
running
life.
out, stops, fires it over the middle, picked off. Intercepted by Jim Amatori. And it's down at the Corsair 35-yard line. Well, that's Kevin Dix's first interception this year. He has not thrown one until just there, and what a bad place to do it in.
He threw it into quintuple coverage. There were 5 of the Dons there and only 1 of his receivers. But in defense of Dix, there was somebody got through right away. There was very poor blocking it right up front by the offensive line. So Kevin was running instead of having some time to get himself set and look for a receiver. He had to throw before he was even ready.
Hinrichs comes in motion. Siplick the ball carrier, and he got a couple on the play. Dave Lawler coming up to make the tackle. Dave Lawler's another good interior lineman for this Corsair ball club. That guy comes to play night in and night out, and now he's going to come out of the game.
This is the night out part when he comes out.
Yeah. What a nice night to be out, though. Boy, I can't believe this. Around 74, 75 degrees at kickoff. We were up in the 80s earlier today. I mentioned at the top of this cable cast, it was a day and so far night better suited for a June or July night. But it's October 2nd. 2nd down and 8. Jennings keeps it, lost his footing, and still managed to right himself to pick up about 6. Dropped at the 26-yard line.
They're going to give him a real favorable spot inside the 26, so it brings up 3rd and just a good long yard for the 1st down. There was nobody to contain the quarterback, nobody to force him to do something with it right away, and he was able to take that long stride, actually lost his footing, as you said, but there was nobody there to seal him off. You know, you start going with one-on-one assignments. The linebacker or the lineman has got to take that dive man, and the linebacker and the defensive end have got to shut off that quarterback right away.
And they go straight up the middle. Siplick is going to have that first down, I believe. Brandon Johnson, the first Corsair to meet him, but according to the mark, he's going to have that first down. And the officials originally were going to call timeout for a measurement, but Siplick did get that first down, so they'll move the chains.
You know, and you look at the way this game is going. We've had long, sustained drives other than the turnovers. And, you know, here we are at almost the halfway point in the second quarter, and we're still only one touchdown apiece. You know, that's rather surprising for the high-powered offense that we have seen out of the teams so far this year.
Kevin McCann goes wide to the left side. And Jennings back to throw, looking that way. Henriches is in the flat, has the reception, and has about 7 yards. So the Dons have gone to the air 3 times, been successful twice, and have 14 yards, and it looks as though it's just going to be short, controlled passes, much like a West Coast offense, some slants and some out patterns that aren't going to allow the defense time to cut in front.
One thing I'm surprised that more of the high schools don't do in this area, because you're not dealing with real strong, established quarterbacks. When those receivers are going out, somebody isn't laying the wood to them right away. That guy just slipped out untouched, and it was a well-thrown pass.
Here's
Nobody
a pitch
to
to the
contain.
outside. Stanton, the ball carrier, bounces off a couple of Corsairs and rolls his way to the 12-yard line.
Almost a crackback block by number 10 for the Dons, John Kradick. But still, there was nobody to contain. You saw that develop right away, and the offensive lineman pulled and actually outran the defensive people getting there. That's quickness. There's no doubt about that.
Well, take a look at how the Dons come off the ball, too. We mentioned earlier their quickness and the fact that although they're not large, they're a very fast bunch. They come off the ball well. They'll hit that point of contact right away and create openings that you can drive a truck through. And a timeout is taken by the Dons right now with 5:28 left to go in the first half. Tied up at 7, and the Dons are trying to make the Corsairs pay for an interception earlier.
You know, unfortunately, it does not allow us because of limited staff, and these are some of the things that the schools just probably don't keep track of. But I'd really be curious to see what happens to Carmel when they're on defense in the red zone. You know, you start to look at, we're far enough, we're halfway over the halfway point in the season. Some of these stats start to really mean something. First game of the year, you know, whether you have a lot of offense or a lot of defense, doesn't really mount to hill of beans. But, you know, as we talked, here we are at the 5-game mark. Carmel 3rd in total offense, way down the pack in defense. They give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of points. But you wonder what happens to them when their back's against the wall. How tough are they really?
You know, this ball club went through a disappointing year last year in terms of record, 2-3 in conference, 3-6 overall. But the Corsairs were in every ball game last season, with the exception of a Mount Carmel game. They lost 63-21, but I think they avenged that by playing very strong this time. But they were in just about every ball game last year. Hales Franciscan had a double-digit difference, but the Corsairs can point to about 3 specific plays that cost them last year. An inability to put the ball in the end zone